In the grand sweep of history, we find ourselves at a breaking point. A moment where the fractures in our societal structure can no longer be ignored. Like a ruler divided into infinitesimally small increments, our differences, whether of gender, class, orientation, or belief, have reduced the space for movement, understanding, and connection. We are a society suffocating under the weight of its own fragmentation. And yet, this breaking point is not the end. It is the beginning of a profound transformation, a great reset that promises to restore balance, purpose, and creativity. This reset is not a random occurrence, but a cosmic intervention, a desperate yet divine call to humanity to realign itself with the sacred principles of love, connection, and abundance. It strips away the illusions and delusions that have held us captive, bringing us back to our roots, where survival, creation, and understanding are paramount. It is a process as intricate and demanding as the lamination of croissant dough, one that requires separation and integration, tension and release, to create something whole, harmonious, and nourishing. Much like the layers of croissant dough, society has divided itself into thin, fragile strata, each one representing a different identity, belief, or class. Initially, these layers allowed room for movement and expression. Like dough stretched and folded, creating space for individuality within the collective. But as the divisions multiplied, the layers grew thinner and thinner until they began to collapse under their own weight. These divisions have manifested in profound ways. Property crimes have become more complex, driven not only by greed, but a growing disconnect from the humanity of those who possess what others desire. Sexual crimes, too, have grown increasingly perverse, reflecting a society that has lost its reverence for the sacredness of intimacy. The root of these issues lies in a fundamental disconnection, not just from others, but from ourselves. We have forgotten that our differences are meant to complement, not divide. That individuality thrives within unity, not isolation. This disconnection has led to a worship of materiality, where humanity is treated as a resource to be exploited and amortized. In our quest for possessions and status, we have reduced people to a means to an end, stripping away empathy and understanding. Creativity, governed by the sacral chakra, the same energetic center that governs sexuality, has stagnated. When our views on sexuality and relationships are corrupted by shame and guilt, our capacity for creation diminishes. We end up with a society where everything is disposable, where inspiration is rare, and where the sacred act of creation is overshadowed by apathy. The 21st century has borne witness to this crisis. Our attitudes toward each other, toward love, and toward the planet have led us to a breaking point. We can no longer sustain a society built on fear, scarcity, and division. The crimes that litter our world, whether of property, intimacy, or spirit, are symptoms of a deeper sickness. We have reached a point where the layers of our societal croissant have compressed into a blob of chaos, where there is no space left for movement, understanding, or connection. This breaking point is both a reckoning and a revelation. It is a moment where we must confront the consequences of our actions and decide whether to continue on the path of destruction or to embrace the Great Reset, to return to truth, connection, and creation. The Great Reset is a divine intervention, a cosmic kneading of humanity's dough to realign us with our sacred purpose. It is a process of stripping away the illusions and delusions that have shaped our world, leaving behind only what is real, relevant, and true. The UAP sightings that have captivated global attention are not merely phenomena. They are catalysts for this reset, forcing humanity to rethink its place on this planet and in the universe. This reset is not about regression, but about recalibration. It retains the progress we've made, the knowledge and technology that serve humanity's higher purpose, while discarding the falsehoods and fears that have led us astray. It is a desperate yet compassionate act, a reminder that we are stewards of this planet and custodians of its future. At its core, this reset is a return to our roots. It calls us back to the primal urges that sustain life, the need to survive, to create, to love, and to understand. It reminds us that we are not here to condemn, but to grow, not to judge, but to understand, and not to fear, but to love. This new paradigm is built on the foundation of abundance rather than scarcity, connection rather than separation, and creativity rather than destruction. It teaches us that true abundance is not about possessions, but about relationships. Our relationship with ourselves, with each other, and with the earth. It asks us to honor the sacredness of creation, whether in art, innovation, or intimacy. Like the lamination process in croissant making, this reset requires effort, patience, and trust. It asks us to separate what no longer serves us, fold in what is sacred, and stretch ourselves toward a higher consciousness. The result will not be a society that erases its layers, but one that integrates them harmoniously, creating space for individuality within the collective and love within diversity. As the illusions fall away, humanity is being called to build rather than destroy, to create rather than consume, and to love rather than to fear. This reset is not an end, but a beginning, a chance to reimagine our place in the cosmos and to rebuild a world rooted in truth and harmony. The crimes of the past century, the exploitation, the perversion, the disconnection, are lessons, not legacies. They remind us of what happens when we lose sight of our humanity and our purpose. But they also illuminate the path forward, one of understanding, respect, and sacred creation. In this new timeline, humanity will reclaim its role as co-creator with the divine. We will rebuild our relationships with each other and with the earth, not as resources to be exploited, but as sacred connections to be cherished. The time of illusions is over. What lies ahead is a reality that is rooted in love, desire, and abundance. A reality where humanity flourishes as one harmonious, interconnected whole. Let us embrace this reset with open hearts and minds, trusting that the layers of our collective croissant will rise once more, creating something beautiful, nourishing, and true.